In recent weeks, the researcher known as Avi Loeb has published and commented on updates that significantly shift the tone of the investigation into 3I Atlas. The two most concrete pieces of information he highlights are 1. A radio detection of hydroxyl OH absorption by the Meerkat Radio Telescope in South Africa. 2. Recent images that reveal a complex network of jets following perihelion. Both findings arrive amid growing demands from the scientific community for high-resolution data, some of which remain apparently withheld. Breakthrough radio detection by Meerkat. According to Avi Loeb, the most significant update is the first confirmed radio detection of the object. The Meerkat observations revealed absorption signals associated with hydroxyl molecules, a chemical signature typically linked to ice sublimation or surface breakup. Loeb explains that these findings confirm thermal activity on the object, suggesting that Atlas is releasing material as it interacts with solar radiation. The detection offers important physical evidence. The absorption signals indicate cold gas positioned between Atlas and a warmer background radiation source. This implies there is gaseous material being released in a manner consistent with the distance Atlas maintained from the Sun during the time of observation. Additionally, Loeb analyzed the velocity data, taking into account Atlas's motion relative to Earth and the observation angle. The Doppler shift matched exactly what would be expected for a body releasing molecules at such a distance, reinforcing the validity of the radio detection. Jet structures and optical observations. New images taken on November 8, 2025, using stacked exposures, show a persistent luminous halo extending roughly 500,000 kilometers, and at least 7 distinct jets. Some of these jets are oriented toward the Sun, a configuration that is rare for natural comets. Loeb notes that these jets could be caused by two very different mechanisms. Natural explanation: localized ice patches on a comet-like nucleus that emit gas and dust when heated. Technological hypothesis: intentional thruster-like emissions used for attitude control or propulsion, potentially indicating artificial origin. He does not declare either hypothesis as correct, but insists the technological explanation must remain on the table while further data is gathered. Observers cited by Loeb also noted the images were taken under difficult conditions, bright moonlight and twilight, making the persistent features even more compelling. Juno opportunity and withheld high-resolution data. Loeb also pointed to a major observational opportunity on March 16, 2026, when Atlas is expected to pass about 53 million kilometers from Jupiter. He urges the use of Juno's dipole antenna to search for low-frequency emissions between 50 Hz and 40 MHz, frequencies that are difficult to observe from Earth but could yield valuable data about potential non-natural signals. At the same time, Loeb has expressed frustration at the lack of access to critical high-resolution images. He refers specifically to data captured by the HiRISE camera on NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter on October 23, 2025, which could offer pixel resolutions of 130 meters, far better than what Hubble or ground-based telescopes can achieve. Despite formal scientific requests and letters from representatives, these images have not been made publicly available, raising concerns about institutional transparency and a potential double standard favoring high-profile figures. The puzzle of non-gravitational acceleration. One of the most mysterious findings discussed by Loeb is the presence of non-gravitational acceleration. Orbital models show significant deviation from expected paths, which cannot be explained by gravity alone. If this deviation were caused solely by gas outflow, conservation of momentum would require massive material loss, about 1/16 of the object's total mass, or several billion tons. Such a massive outgassing should produce an easily detectable debris cloud, but none has been observed. This leaves only two plausible explanations. An unknown natural mechanism that generates acceleration without equivalent mass loss. A form of artificial propulsion that produces thrust without shedding visible debris. Loeb has called for targeted observations in the coming weeks to determine whether this acceleration increases, decreases, or changes direction, with variations in solar heating. Data that could offer vital clues. Wow. Signal alignment and continued surveillance. Loeb also emphasized that Atlas's incoming trajectory lies within 9 degrees of the direction of the famous 1977 WOW signal, a potential historical radio anomaly. He advocates continued global surveillance, especially radio monitoring, as Atlas remains active. Summary of key updates. First confirmed radio detection of Atlas. Absorption lines detected in late October via Meerkat. Jet network observed. 7 distinct jets and a 500,000-kilometer halo, with some jets oriented toward the Sun. Non-gravitational acceleration confirmed. Requires explanation, either via extreme outgassing or artificial means. No visible debris cloud, despite models requiring major mass ejection. High-resolution, high-rise images withheld, despite repeated scientific requests. Juno flyby in March 2026. Potential radio scan opportunity near Jupiter. Trajectory aligned near 1977 WOW signal source. Over 200 observatories tracking Atlas, with more joining as it emerges from solar conjunction. If the required mass loss isn't observed, we are left with an unsettling question. What is driving the acceleration, if not outgassing? Avi Loeb is not claiming proof of alien technology, but he is demanding scientific rigor, open access to data, and the courage to entertain all possibilities.